and welcome to another episode of Four Guys, a Girl, and a Show. I'm Stacey Rader, your host for the evening. With me, as always, is Mr. Brian Isaacs.
Hey, hey.
Mr. JQ.
How y'all doing today?
Mr. Dave Harriman.
How's it going out there?
And Mr. Mike Hopkins.
Yo.
Tonight we are very excited to have a special guest. He is the marketing supervisor of Diamond Select Toys. Please welcome Mr. Zach Oat.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us. So I wanted to ask you about a line that I think is coming out very, very soon, Battle Beast. What can you tell us about that?
Battle Beast is an in-house line we developed based on the name Battle Beast, which we got the rights to a couple of years back. And we're going to be finally putting out the first series of Minimates, fully sculpted figures, but using the base 2-inch minifigure body we use. This Wednesday, they're going to finally be showing up at comic shops, and they're going to be hitting Toys R Us. An exclusive assortment's going to be hitting there pretty shortly after that. And it's all based on the IDW comic book miniseries, which we developed with IDW, and which I'm a big fan of. I thought they really knocked it out of the park.
Now, are these the Battle Beasts based off of the ones that came out in the 80s?
No, the name was available and nobody was using it, and so we got the trademark on it, and we decided to just put together our own line of Battle Beasts. We knew the line from the early days, and we loved the name, and we wanted to create something that was, as cool as that. And it took us some time to find the right partner to team up with, to come up with the story and the characters and stuff like that. But, we always had the story in our heads, but they get somebody to flesh it out for us and put it into a really cool package that ended up being IDW. So it took us a while to really get it off the ground, and we were working on some other in-house toy lines at the time. We had a pirate line that we were doing for Toys R Us, and a military line called Minimates Max, and so we had a lot of stuff on our plate, but eventually everything came together all at the same time, and we finally managed to get some momentum on it. And I'm just excited the figures are finally coming out, to be honest.
Me too, because I was actually a kid back then and collected the original Battle Beasts, and I think these are much better looking and definitely more posable.
It's an interesting fan base. There's a lot of people who really passionately remember and love the originals, and ours are very different, very, very different. But I think that the Minimate designers and the artists who did a lot of the character designs, they both put a lot into it, and I think once people get them in their hands, they're really going to realize that it's a pretty cool line.
So, Zach, with the Battle Beast, I know with a lot of the other Minimates lines, there are vehicles. Is Battle Beast, is that going to have vehicles as well?
If series is really well, and we can get Series 2 going, then, I'm not saying vehicles we roll out down the road. We've talked about a lot of different, potential product categories, if it's successful. But, I think it's always going to depend on how well Series 1 grabs on. Vehicles are not like an easy, trigger to pull. I mean, we had a line of vehicles that we were selling through Toys R Us, and that was where we mixed in like Terminator vehicles and Back to the Future, and even Knight Rider was originally part of that. But that we don't do, since that was when we had Pirates and the Max line for Toys R Us too. So mixing something in at this stage, it's vehicles are a lot not as easy a decision to make. But we are going to be doing a Star Trek Enterprise in Minimates form. And I think that's going to be our next big vehicle. And after that, I think we might be announcing some stuff at New York Toy Fair for further down the line vehicles. But Battle Beast is going to be. It's all going to depend on whether the line really takes off. I'm hoping it does.
If the people that I talk to on a regular basis that are toy fans are any indication, I think you're not going to have any trouble at all selling Battle Beast.
Oh, your words to God's ears.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
The Battle Beast Minimates do take off. Is there any thoughts of making the Battle Beast any bigger, like Select line type size?
I mean, it would if the line took off and if the if the trade paperback sales do as well as we hope, and we can continue the story either with IDW or in mini comics or whatever we decide to do with it. I think it would be a no-brainer to do something more high end with the designs, because the artist Valerio Schiti, he did some amazing designs, and we had some great cover artists too come in and do stuff. But yeah, I mean, select figures would be amazing. Even statues would be definitely very cool. We showed back when we were still fleshing out what we want to do with the line. We showed some sculpted figures, very different style, very cartoony. A few years back at I think San Diego, and people are still talking about those and how cool they look. They're we wouldn't be using those designs, but there is still definitely a big fan base for anthropomorphic animal characters in armor.
Would you consider 3 3/4 figures, or is that not in the books?
That's not really a scale that we as a company have really tackled. It's it's obviously getting to be more and more popular scale as Hasbro's brought all the chickens under one roof. But we have I think like a 4-inch about Michael Knight coming up with an exclusive Entertainment Earth kit car that we're doing. But I think that's the first 4-inch, 3 3/4 to 4-inch figure that the company's done. Actually, so I can't say that that's a scale that we'd really ever look at. Select does very well for us. I mean, we've got a bunch of different lines at that 7-inch scale, and it just seems like if we were to do it, although given the fact that all the beasts in the comic book are twice the size of most humans, it would certainly raise some questions as to what size everybody would be. So it would probably be about a 4-inch scale, but the beast would probably be closer to like 6 or 7 inches tall.
Yeah, so you have to love scale Nazis when it comes to toy collecting.
Oh yeah, no, I mean this is all hypothetical. I'm just hoping the Minimates do well, and we're talking years down the road if that was the case. I'd want to see the Minimates line get developed more, but the scale is a big whole barrel of monkeys that you got to open up. We try to be pretty rigid with the 7-inch scale on our Marvel Select line. It's probably why you'll never see you'll never see a Galactus in the Marvel Select line. I think I could safely say, just because it just wouldn't really make sense with the line. We did it for Minimates, but Minimates are such a different beast that you can do a 2-inch Galactus and have them standing next to a 2-inch Silver Surfer, and it's fun. But to do a 8-9-inch Galactus standing next to a 7-inch 8-inch Thing figure, it just doesn't make too much sense with that realistic style we do.
Well, touching on the Diamond Select Marvel scale character, is there anything as far as articulation that you guys are going to be adding this year to make the figures more articulated?
I mean, we take each figure on a case-by-case basis. I mean, as everybody's probably noticed. We have a lot of different. We have a few different sculptors who work on the figures. Gentle Giant do some. Sam Greenwell does some. Gene St. Jean does some. We have a lot of people working on it, and we look at each figure and we see what makes sense and what we can do. With the figure that we're working on, but. I think if you look at a lot of the figures we have coming up, we're putting in a lot more double knee joints. Nightcrawler has them, and I know a lot of people were really concerned about that when they saw some single knee joints in the prototype, but we definitely added 2 double knee joints to that. Everybody loves it when we put rocker ankles on a Marvel Select figure, so I hope we do more of those. I'm trying to think if I've seen any on the most recent ones, and I can't really remember.
What did Amazing Spider-Man that you did the rocker ankles on?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And definitely. Ultron had some great ankles, but and people are really, really excited about the articulation level on Ultron. But not every figure is going to be articulated the same way. We make each figure from the ground up, and it's each figure is its own beast. we don't use a standard body across multiple figures. We only reuse, except for variants, within cases. We've only reused one body, I think, ever, and that was for Red Hulk back in the day. And although I guess you could count recently the 2 Mark Silvestri Hulks we did, although we did that on purpose because we wanted, it's really the same character from 2 different pages and pretty much the same issue. But it's definitely not going to be starting in May, every figure's going to have this. We're not going to have that kind of situation. But we are definitely looking at what people like and what people are responding to, and we're saying how can we do more of that.
And see, this is what I love about the Marvel Select is unlike Hasbro and Mattel, for the most part, like 90% of the stuff is just cookie cutter. You guys really put a lot of different detail in each different figure. It's pretty, you get some amazing sculptors on this stuff, I gotta say. It's just, we
do have a pretty great stable of sculptors.
For your, the Disney exclusive Captain America, it really did look like Cassiday's artwork. It was an amazing job on that one, I gotta say.
I'm a big fan of it. There's some people who don't enjoy it as much, but I thought it was a really great interpretation of Cassiday. Gene St. Jean really killed the Flash Thompson Venom recently. People are excited about that Rhino coming up. I've been playing with an early sample, and the cracks in his armor are every time I look at them, I'm just blown away by the amount of detail these guys can put into it.
Speaking of Venom, I'm really happy to see you guys coming in the next February and March. I believe is the release of the classic Venom, which has like that McFarlane look of when Venom was first drawn.
Yeah, that's going to be coming out next month, yeah.
Considering how big of a character Venom's been through the years, and we've seen the release of Anti-Venom a long time ago, and you had Ultimate Venom quite a few years ago, what was the determination to go back and make the classic Venom a character that, we were talking that's been a couple years way back that he first came out, you're just now coming out with the classic version. What was the determining factor on that?
I think, to be honest, early in the Marvel Select line, we actually did not have the full range of Marvel Universe characters to play with. We were developing the line with Toy Biz. They were our partner on the line. I wasn't with the company at the time. I was over at Toy Fair Magazine back then, but they were developing it with Toy Biz. I think Toy Biz was handling possibly manufacturing. They were doing a lot of the development. DST was doing the design and development, but they weren't allowed to. They only had a certain stable of characters. That's why you saw a lot of Ultimate characters in the early days and Marvel Knights. So you had Black Widow and Punisher from the Knights. And you had Ultimate Spider-Man was the first one. Ultimate Venom was in there. Ultimate Iron Man. All the Ultimates were in there in the beginning. So that was actually, why for a long time you saw, the Watcher and Cloak and Dagger. People are like, oh, you guys used to take some real risks with characters, and they were risks, absolutely, because we weren't really given the totally safe characters to play with. We weren't given, the 616 Captain America to do. So that's why we did Ultimate Venom early in the day. But they did that cool paint variation where he had the Venom logo on his chest. But I think he's just long overdue. And the Anti-Venom was cool because Chuck Tricera liked to look at what's going on currently in the Marvel Universe and look at stuff that, maybe even if it's not, a really established costume, if it's like something cool in a current book and it's a current look that would make a really cool toy, like that Phoenix that we did where she was, orange-skinned and wearing the black leather pants. It wasn't like it wasn't a look that hung around for a long time. It was a really cool-looking character design, and it was a cool toy.
The translucent version, love it.
Yeah. So that was why Anti-Venom made the cut pretty much right away, because it was just such a great design and a great twist on an old character. So that probably actually did postpone doing a classic Venom a little bit longer. But now that we're finally getting to him, it's probably it's probably good that we got to him when we did. Now that the team is really trying different stuff and really, I think they're firing on all cylinders. I think a lot of people are really looking at the Marvel Select line when they haven't before. And not ever. They're still remembering what it was like 10 years ago, and it's pretty much completely different now.
Well, with you mentioned about taking risks, and one of the risks you guys took in the characters I think a lot of people love when you guys did the Marvel Zombies line with the Marvel Selects. People love those things.
Yes.
But we've never seen any more of them. There people would love to see some more of those.
Marvel's moved away from the zombies, at least as far as the classic characters go. They're kind of moving the zombies to the periphery of the Marvel universe. So you're seeing like Squadron Supreme and stuff like that. So we occasionally ask and look at to see if it's something that they're interested in letting us play with again. And we're hopeful that someday we'll be able to do something in that realm again. But for now, I think they're looking at keeping the zombies and the blockbuster superheroes separate. So and I think merchandise is currently on a back burner for them as far as that goes. But we keep asking and hopefully we'll get to do something there someday.
And that's one of my favorite sets is having those three characters put together for that base with the Silver Surfer on the bottom. That was genius. I mean, it just looks really well together. I want to give kudos to that. A question everyone's asking as far as the selects go is, will we ever see a Scarlet Spider, either the new version or the old school with the hood?
Yeah, no, I believe me. I get every single customer service email and every single Ask DST email sent to my inbox. So I see that there's a lot of people asking for Scarlet Spider. So I know that Chuck sees him. I know that Chuck, who he's in addition to being the director of DST, he pretty much heads up Marvel Select, the line planning, and he's basically the product manager for that whole line. Deals with all the artists, and he's a huge Spider-Man fan. I don't know how he feels about the Scarlet Spider, but I know he's seeing all the requests for him, and I don't know if he's had a chance to read any of the new books. I have. It's pretty cool. I have to say that if I had to hazard a guess, I would say that the new Scarlet Spider has a much better chance than the old Scarlet Spider. I don't know. The hoodie Scarlet Spider was just so. It's only recently that I feel like he's turned around and people have been like, oh man, Scarlet Spider is awesome. At one point, I just remember even when he got that figure in the Spider-Man Classic series, he was not a beloved character. I know there were Ben Reilly fans out there, but like the costume design was not universally applauded. Now we look back on it and we're like, man, that was great. We have some great nostalgia for the character, but I think the new Scarlet Spider costume is definitely much cooler. And again, we like to do stuff that's current. That's why when we were looking at Hulks, people were like, why didn't you do a World War Hulk instead of our Barbarian Hulk that we just did based on issue 1 of the Silvestri series, or Unleashed Hulk we did for the Disney Store. And it's like, well, Hasbro did a World War Hulk, and that was a bunch of years ago. We look at the classic stuff like the Venom, and the classic X-Men that we do, but we also like to look at what's going on now. Minimates is great for that because Minimates we can turn stuff around a lot quicker. So we're actually doing a whole assortment of Marvel Minimates based on Marvel Now, which we're going to be soliciting in previews. The digital previews actually hits on Friday, so we're going to actually have a whole assortment of Marvel Now, and that's just specialty. We'll have even more Marvel Now stuff at Toys R Us, but a whole bunch of the new costume designs, and a bunch of characters who've just come back into prominence in some of the newer titles.
Another thing I wanted to give you all kudos on are the bottle openers. I work at a comic shop here in Mississippi, and hey, right now, these things fly off the shelves when we put them out. The Mjolnir one and even the Silver Surfer one. I mean, we keep ordering them, and they keep flying off the shelves. So I mean, they're kudos. I mean, they're awesome to look at.
That's fantastic to hear. I'm glad. I knew they were doing well. I see them moving out of inventory, but I wasn't. To hear someone say that people are really appreciating them on the street is great. We've got a bunch of designs in the hopper. It's I don't know how many people actually are actually interested in like collecting all of them, but I'm hoping that at some point we'll bottle opener that'll appeal to pretty much every Marvel fan out there. Because after I think we still haven't put out the Captain America's Shield. No, that one just came out. The Captain America's Shield bottle opener. I think just came out.
That came out a couple weeks ago. We got it in the shop.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've actually circulated any pictures of what it looks like on the back, but it's got a fully sculpted, like the straps that he would hold on to or would go over his shoulders are actually on the back of the bottle opener. It's kind of cool. This month, like I said, digital previews comes out Friday. I think this month we have a Punisher logo bottle opener, which I think Marvel.com is going to be debuting images of that this week. But so keep an eye out for that. But it's what you expect, but it's a very cool piece. And it's going to look even cooler when you see the final chrome version.
And Zach, I'm a big fan of the Minimates. I've been collecting these little guys for a while now, and I just love how deep you guys can go into the Marvel Universe and just really come up with some obscure characters that will probably never see the light of day in any other action figure form. I mean, I love the two exclusives you had at the cons this past year, the two Alpha Flight sets, and then you had the 2-pack of Alpha Flight, so I'm all set for Alpha Flights. Thank you very much on that one. That was awesome.
Yeah, the fact that we were able to put out 10 Alpha Flight members, I think, well, it was July to whenever that last 2-pack came out, I guess. It probably came out around October when the second 4-pack hit. So yeah, in like the span of 3 months, we were able to put out 10 Alpha Flight members and pretty much finish the team. People still want Shaman's daughter, Talisman, and people still want like a white Sasquatch. But it's like, come on, come on, man. We gave you 10 Alpha Flight members. That's 10 more than. Well, Toy Biz did those great 2-packs back in the day, but that was a long time ago. Time ago. I guess they've done Hasbro's done a Guardian since then, I think. But no, there's not a lot of love for them, and I love those designs. I didn't read every issue of the Byrne run, but whenever I saw one in a dollar bin or something, I snapped it up, and I had a pretty good collection of them at one point. Yeah, but Minimates, we get to go. It's like, we could, you guys, we're saying how great Marvel's like this because they do a different body for everybody. But Minimates are great because they do the same body for everybody, and it's easy for us to roll the dice on somebody like, we've done so many crazy, just those one-off variants over the years we've done, like the female spider clone from Ultimate Spider-Man, the one in that all kind of reddish-black costume.
Right.
With long hair. She was a variant in one of the waves, a long time ago. There's some characters coming up in some of these waves that are really great. We had that whole fan poll that we did on Marvel.com for Series 50, and we let people vote on who they wanted to see in that series. And we got both Baron Zemos in there, which isn't very impressive because I know Toy Biz and Hasbro have done them both. But we got this. We went back into the Cyborg Spider-Man from that Deathlock crossover he did, which again Toy Biz did as a figure a long time ago. I put him in there because I loved the design, and he won. I was actually kind of happy that he won because I think it's a great nostalgic design. Trying to think who else is cool in that wave.
I know you got
Centurion.
I know you got Songbird, and she's a personal underdog of mine that I just love, that I just don't feel like gets enough love out in the Marvel Universe. So I'm particularly happy about having her as a Minimate.
She came out of nowhere. She was one of the few, and this is entirely my fault for putting together the poll categories based on. I was using a thread in the Minimate multiverse where they talked about what characters they wanted, and they actually had a poll where people could vote. And I looked at who was doing pretty well on the multiverse, and I said, all right, well, let's put these in on Marvel.com and see how they do. And she was one of the maybe 2 or 3 women. I think I had the Step Alfred Cuckoo's on there, and maybe somebody else. I think if you count the Dire Wraiths, I think all the Dire Wraiths are female. But she won her category, which was like second-tier heroes. She beat out a lot of characters like Falcon and Winter Soldier. She blew them out of the water.
Wow.
So good for her for getting on there. I couldn't believe it. A lot of people on the multiverse couldn't believe it either. They're like, what? Because they all wanted the Falcon, or Winter Soldier. But I'm sure we'll get to Winter Soldier eventually, especially with him being in the Cap movie. She was a real surprise. Again, I think she's been done as a sculpted figure, but still, it's cool that we're able to do her. And we'll be showing those figure designs this week on Marvel.com as well.
No, actually, Zach, this is actually the first time she's going to be in action figure form.
Really? They haven't done one of her in Marvel Universe?
No, they have not.
I tried to keep track, but they put out so much, it's hard.
No, it's just, they really haven't touched any of the really classic Thunderbolts, to be honest with you. Other than Zemo, and I think maybe a Moonstone, but other than that, there's like no love for the classic Thunderbolts, and that was one of my all-time favorite series. I thought, phenomenal story. So,
yeah, they did that box set of the Masters of Evil, which was very cool. I think, I guess Radioactive Man was in there, who's new Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And Baron Zemo 2 was definitely in that. Maybe Tiger Shark was the third one. But,
yeah, it was. But,
no, now that I think about it, the classic Thunderbolts, definitely. Mach 5 would be a fantastic figure.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I mean, it's just,
Atlas.
This is one of my
I'm
favorites.
surprised they didn't do an Atlas variant when they were putting out all those different giant men.
Oh, that would be cool.
But, we do try to, Chuck's a big old school Marvel guy, so he goes classic. He goes, he was one who came up with the Death of Jean DeWolf series that we did. He knows a lot of classic Marvel. And then Robert and I, but he's also always keeping an eye on what's coming out, new in the different series. And Robert and I are always, Robert Yee is the product manager for Minimates, and he and I are always looking at the new stuff and seeing what would be cool. And Marvel now had a lot of cool new costume designs, and there's some characters in the series that haven't really been getting a lot of play in figure form, but also just not a lot of play in comics in a while. And now they're kind of being pushed to the forefront. We're like, let's do them. And there's a couple real surprising characters in that assortment that we're going to be showing. Series 51 is where it's going to be soliciting with the Marvel Now characters in it.
Will that be shown at Toy Fair?
That'll be shown this week. Marvel.com is going to
show
Pure Bottle Opener, and they're going to show Series 50, which all their readers voted on, and they're going to show Series 51, the Marvel Now series,
awesome.
this week. I think they're going to roll them out starting tomorrow. I think they're going to start rolling them out. I don't know which one they're going to start with, but they're all very cool. So definitely keep your eyes peeled there. I'll try to repost them to our Facebook page too.
The only problem I have with Minimates is I have a new son, and I can just see him wanting to use these for his Legos. Just that's the only bad thing I see. But other than that, I love these little guys. No,
I've been a fan of them since they first introduced them back 2000 and the Marvel one started in 2003, but 2002 was when the big one started coming out, and I was working for Toy Fair at the time. I'd been there a few years at that point, but no, we were big fans.
I'd like to ask you about your experience at Toy Fair. I just remember opening the magazine, and it just seemed like every month somehow you were getting the snot smacked out of you.
We, violence is always funny, and violence and swearing, and we can't swear. Well, we certainly bleeped out a lot of words, but no, I think my first appearance in the magazine in the Masthead comic strip, I got my head cut off by the Headless Horseman. I think I was when it came out, and McFarlane's Toys came out. Me and the Teletubbies.
Now, moving away from Marvel a little bit, other licenses, you guys have the two of the new Star Trek selects coming out that they look really good, using some of the classic scenes from the original series.
Yeah, we're hoping that retailers have seemed to have gotten on board with it, which we're excited about, and we're hoping that the collectors will get on board with it too. This new select style that we're doing, they're all going to be compatible with the classic Star Trek figures we've done. They're going to come with diorama style bases. Not all necessarily including a second figure, like as part of the base. May just be a more elaborate piece. But Kirk and Spock are the first two, and then we're moving on from there. We're going to move away from the original series for the third release. I won't tell. I can't say who it is yet. Chuck will tell me, but I think you'll definitely see him at the New York Toy Fair. I just gave away to him, but you'll see the third figure, I think, at New York Toy Fair, definitely.
Well, a question on that with the Kirk. He's fighting Khan over a circuit board. Is Khan actually a full figure in that box set?
He's full size, but he's not fully articulated. He's part of the diorama.
Okay.
It's him recoiling back in the engineering section. But Kirk, you can pose him either swinging the pipe, standing on the ground, or jumping to do the jump kick, where he kicks Khan in the chest back into the circuit board. It's pretty cool. I need to take some more pictures of it once I get some samples in hand. But it's actually a pretty versatile figure. You can do a lot with it. And when you pose that Kirk next to Spock, it looks pretty cool. And these should all be in scale. We're trying to make sure we get the scale right with other figures from the original series we've put out. So it hopefully should fit into everybody's collection, and they'll be able to use their figures on the dioramas. And we're hoping that it'll mark the return of Star Trek action figures. We've been doing the retro line for a little while, but selling assortments of 7-inch scale figures was just not. It wasn't really working at retail. The retailers weren't really that interested in getting a whole waves of Star Trek figures. But the Marvel Select format works for us, putting out the one figure every other month or so, with a lot of added value stuff in it. And I'm hoping this line will go on for a while, because there's a lot of really great iconic characters that we've never done that we tackle from all the different series and all the different movies. And we have everything but the newest movies, the J.J. Abrams stuff. So there's a lot of area to cover. And we're relaunching the Minimates line too. StarTrek.com is going to be debuting the first series of the first new series of Star Trek Minimates this week, because we're going to be soliciting that one as well in the new previews.
Question for you on the. Is it possible we might see Star Wars Minimates?
We keep expressing interest. We do stuff, a couple different categories for them. We let them know we're interested in doing it every now and again, and hopefully someday stars will line up and it'll be something we can make happen. But for now, I don't think it's going to be feasible for the near future. But we keep our fingers crossed. Chuck's a big Star Wars fan. He's always looking for new things to do with Star Wars. We got our first neon signs for Star Wars coming out soon, and our banks keep getting cooler and cooler. We've got the vinyl Han Solo and carbonite, and we've been doing a lot of banks in 1/6 scale, so they 1/4 scale, so they fit in with the quarter scale figure line that we did a few years back. So we got a quarter scale Yoda, quarter scale R2, quarter scale Jawa. Bunch of stuff like that. Should be pretty cool.
Nice.
So we dream, but we try to do as cool stuff as we can with Star Wars, and we're doing bottle openers for that too. I don't know if you saw those. The Death Star we put out, and then we have an exclusive with I think it's oh gosh, I'm blanking on it. They have our Millennium Falcon. It's I'm sorry, the Geek Store. What are they called?
Think Geek?
ThinkGeek, yes. I'm sorry, I totally brain fart. ThinkGeek has the exclusive Millennium Falcon bottle opener, which is very cool, very, very cool.
I also saw lightsabers. Is that you guys or somebody else?
We're importing some stuff from a company in England called Xeon, and Xeon makes bottle openers as well. And they have a Millennium Falcon that's, the one we did for ThinkGeek is the chrome style, kind of like the Silver Surfer board that we did. But theirs is painted and in color and a little bit more stylized. And they also did a lightsaber. And the lightsaber, when you use it, it actually makes a lightsaber sound when you open up the bottle cap. So that's a pretty cool item. We just solicited that in the last
previews. Yeah, I saw
I'm not
those.
sure the exact release date on that, but probably spring.
Yeah, I already have mine ordered.
I got to get one too, and we're still developing more in our range, the chrome ones for down the road. I guess we solicited the Han Solo and Carbonite bottle opener, and I think the next one is going to be an R2D2 bottle opener, and I think that'll be in this next previews as well.
Nice.
They're pretty cool items. They're real heavy. They're metal. I'm not real heavy, but they got some weight to them. Most of them have magnets on the back, so you can stick them on your fridge. They're really cool little pieces. Cool collectibles, and they come in nice cases too with color images on them.
Yeah, people were very amazed when they saw the Silver Surfer one. Just the case. I mean, it's presented very well. I mean, if you want to just keep on a shelf as a display piece, you could. But if you wanted to use it, it's fully functional. I mean, it's got weight to it too. It's heavy.
They did a really great job with them.
So Zach, I have a question.
I'm sorry, did I lose you?
Yeah, we lost Stacy. She'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
I think she was I don't know what she was going to ask, though.
I panicked. I thought it was me for a second.
On the, not to go back to Marvel, but I know they're, can you tell us anything about the Iron Man 3 ones that are coming out?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't actually seen them myself. We knew what we were doing, and we knew we couldn't show them yet. Even though they've shown the characters, that we weren't allowed to show the merchandise just yet. So we went with the silhouettes. So they'll probably be on display at New York Toy Fair. I got to double check when the embargo dates are. But I actually haven't seen them, so I'll probably be seeing them there in person for the first time. I'm actually pretty excited about it because General Giant's doing I believe they're doing the design work on those again, like they did the last ones, and they just keep getting better and better with their stuff. So I'm very excited to see how these improve on the last assortment of Iron Man Minimates, Marvel Select we did. I know one thing is changing. I think we are not doing the pegged mask feature did for Iron Man 2. We're doing an interchangeable head for both Iron Patriot and the Iron Man, the new Iron Man armor. So I haven't seen them, but I'm pretty sure that's a definite that we're going to be doing that differently than we did last time. I thought the peg feature was pretty cool, but I know some people weren't really so keen on it.
Well, I think Stacy's back, and go ahead with your question, Stacy.
All right. So anyway, my question was, being surrounded by toys on a regular basis at work for the past several years, do you collect toys also?
Yeah. I was. I definitely. I'm not as active as I used to be. But when I was with Toy Fair, I collected a lot of stuff, and I still have a lot of those collections. Marvel Legends, Muppet Show, The Simpsons, World of Springfield. classic G.I. Joe, a lot of different stuff. A lot of it's still in storage in my in-laws' attic. But I also collected Minimates, and I collected. I had a pretty good collection of Marvel Select, which I don't have the Minimates, my old Minimates anymore, which I'm always still kicking myself that I don't have those. But the Marvel Select that I found my old stash of Marvel Select in the attic, and very happy to have Zombie Hulk and Ultimate Thor. A lot of figures that we'll probably never get to again because we don't have the tooling anymore. But we're very cool figures nonetheless. So, no, I was collecting even before I came on at Toy Fair. I got back into it in college. I would go to KB and I would pick up pretty much whatever they had on sale for $3, and it just grew and grew. So I started off with the Toy Biz Marvel, and once I started working for Toy Fair on a regular basis, and I was seeing what was coming out every single month, it was all downhill from there. I kind of went cold turkey when I left the industry for a little while, a few years back.
Is it most collectors will tell you it's the hunt of the product. Does it make it easier on you working for a toy company for you to get the product?
Well, the great part is part of my job is taking pictures of stuff. At least I've made it part of my job. I could just repost the pictures that our art director shoots back at the home office, and I do that. But then I try to get usually a set of samples comes across my desk for most Marvel Minimates waves. I can usually get my hands on an early Select sample, an early Star Trek ship, and I'll just shoot pictures of them. So they're not mine per se, but they're in the office, and I can take a picture of them whenever I want. And it's fun to be able to play with them that early. It takes away the desire to own them. I make that a lot easier. But being able to play with them and take pictures of them and put them on my desk for a little while is definitely a very nice perk of working at Diamond Select. Plus, so licenses that I'm into.
So you admit that you closed the office door, closed the shades, and you get on the floor and crawl around and play with them?
I think people walking the streets of New York will tell you that I do that, because I will lie down in the gutter to take pictures of battle beasts fighting each other on this corner of 6th Avenue and 23rd Street, and I have German tourists asking me what I'm doing, and it's well documented. If you see the pictures on Facebook of where the figures are, and you're like, somebody was lying on a sidewalk taking that picture. I've gone down to the Ghostbusters firehouse down by Houston Street and taken pictures of the Ghostbusters Minimates there. Once I get at one of those Ghostbusters light up firehouse mini statues that we have, I'm definitely going to take it down there and try and get some pictures of it in its natural habitat. That should be very cool. If I can take it at night, it'll be even better. But no, I'm a shameless play with them guy. I definitely take them out of the package.
Do you see your guys acquiring any more licenses in the future, or you guys good where you are right now?
I think a lot of our licenses are, if not necessarily done, then winding down. Street Fighter Across Tekken, we said, I think we publicly said that Series 2 was going to be the last series for that. Halo, we've wrapped up our Halo line. We do have some new ones that we've already announced, like Tomb Raider, the new game. We're going to be doing stuff, and those Minimates we should be showing off pretty soon, I think. Not this month, but hopefully soon. Definitely New York Toy Fair. And we're going to be announcing some new licenses. I mean, a lot of them are, the contracts aren't signed yet, but we're going to be announcing some new licenses at New York Toy Fair that should be very, very exciting. We're even holding some back because they're so new that we don't really have anything developed for them yet, but we'll be announcing them to the cons throughout the summer. So Chicago will probably announce something, and possibly even San Diego will have something that we haven't announced until then. But some very, very cool stuff. I can think of a half dozen things that we're in the process on. that and all of them I think will be very appealing to different types of geekdom. A couple movies, a couple TV shows. I don't know if we have any new video games in the works, but some very, very interesting stuff. Some stuff I'm very, very excited about.
What cons are you guys planning on attending this year?
I think we're going to do our standard ones, which are C2E2, SDCC, and New York Comic Con. People ask if we can come to some of the other shows, but we're actually a really small team of people. It's maybe half a dozen full-time staffers. So, in the home office and New York. So it's really not a big group of people where we can send half the team to a con and still have things happening back in the home office, on a timely basis. So we have to pick our spots. And C2E2 is a great show. I went for the first time last year, and I had a great time. And New York and San Diego just give us our big coverage on both coasts. So, we try to go across. It'd be great if we could get down to the southern part of the country, go down to Texas at some point. But, I don't know if there's a big show down in Texas I think we're and we also could do Star Wars Celebration when we can. I don't know if we're going to be going to Germany this year, but we were there last year, and whenever it's in the U.S., we try to go.
Cool. Love to see you guys out in Baltimore for our Baltimore Comic Con.
Yeah, we haven't done Baltimore in a while. I think we did at one point, but not anymore. I think it was just too many shows too close to each other. Once you add in New York Toy Fair, that's and if you count Star Wars Celebration, that's 5 shows a year, and it takes you at least a couple months to get all your ducks lined up for each show. So
okay.
We're constantly planning the next show. So you throw another one in there, and it starts to get a little unwieldy.
That is true.
Let's see.
Did we lose Stacy again?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
We lost
Sorry.
Paul. Wait, no, there you are. I don't know if you guys saw that we're doing a statue of Adam Eve from Invincible, which I think is might be the first 3D representation of her, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty excited about that. I've been reading Invincible for a long time.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks very nice so far. Or is that going to be like a series, or is that just like a one-off?
Well, the Femme Fatales line has always been a mix of established comic book characters and our own creations. We've just happened to have lined up a bunch of cool licensed characters lately that are really, I think, really great additions to the line. I mean, we've done Dawn and Lady Death, and Kabuki is upcoming. Tarot, Raven Hex.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how you guys are going to translate Jim Ballot.
The Raven Hex sold out. We did the Tarot a while ago. I think it was a couple of years ago, and we did a variant for San Diego. I believe she did well. The Raven Hex sold out, I think, instantaneously. It was definitely one of the more revealing statues in that series so far.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but she definitely sold out pretty quick. I know his fans are ravenous, so I'm not surprised, but I'm a little surprised that it sold out as fast as it did. Because we do pretty we don't do really huge runs on the Femme Fatales. But in addition to Adam Eve, we also announced recently that we're doing 7 of 9 from Star Trek. So that's our first TV-based Femme Fatale. And if she does well, hopefully we'll look at more Star Trek characters that could fit in there. I could think of a couple more that would be good for her.
Cool.
Now, you say you guys aren't doing any more Street Fighter versus Tekkens after the second series was done?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any lines that are upcoming that you can tell us about that are possibly we haven't seen yet?
That you haven't seen yet.
I mean, I know you can't give away everything. I understand that.
Yeah, you know, most. I mean, like I said, some of a lot of them. I think all of them pretty much are not official. You know, officially signed deals yet. But you know, I think we're planning on having most of them locked down by New York Toy Fair because we do need to show stuff to buyers. Tomb Raider, we've only shown the one figure, one Minimate at C2E2, but that's going to be a full assortment at Specialty and Toys R Us. And I don't know if you've seen any of the designs from that game, but there's some pretty cool character designs in there. Big gamer, but you know, but I'm kind of familiar with the Tomb Raider series, and there's just some really cool looking stuff. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can tell you any of the new licenses that we're in the process of signing, but I think a couple of them will be surprising to people. You know, some of them have been done by other companies in the past, but we're gonna do what we do best with them. 7-inch figures and for some of them, and Minimates for some of them. Not for all of them. And there's some of them are gonna be electronic vehicles as well. Our Star Trek ships are very popular, and there's a lot of people who are really happy that we're bringing them back this year. We've been in limbo for a while trying to straighten out, some stuff with the factory. But now that we've got them back in production, the Klingon Bird of Prey is already out, but we're going to be rolling out the Enterprise B, which is new, and then a whole bunch of reissues of the D and the Wrath of Khan Enterprise and a lot of ships. But anyway, the electronic vehicles, and Knight Rider, we just put out Kit and the Monster Coach. So we're going to do a lot. We're going to be doing more electronic vehicles as well, based on one or two of these licenses, and they should be pretty cool.
That's cool. So,
are we going to see some more from Universal Monsters?
Yeah, we've definitely another assortment of 7-inch figures planned for 2013. We do them every Halloween. I think
cool.
Toys R Us like to get them even earlier than that, so like July or August they'll have them. But we're definitely doing Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Nice.
There's going to be a Toys R Us version, and then there's going to be that's I think King of Fools Quasi, and then the specialty version is going to be standard Quasimodo, but with a gargoyle base. I'm pretty sure. We're going to do Jekyll and Hyde from Abbott and Costello. Meet Jekyll and Hyde. We couldn't do Abbott and Costello. They're not licensing Abbott and Costello right now, but we got Boris Karloff as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I think Dr. Jekyll is going to be Toys R Us exclusive with a lab table, and Mr. Nice. Hyde is going to be at specialty with a rooftop base. They both look pretty great, and the mole person is going to be, I think, exclusive at Toys R Us.
Oh, nice.
I mean, technically that's 3 figures exclusive at Toys R Us, but 2 you could consider a variance. But mole person will only be at Toys R Us. And we do have 2 new retro figures, too, for Universal Monsters. We're going to do Phantom of the Opera and, is it Metaluna Mutant, I want to say, as the retro figures? I think that's who we're doing for the 8-inch Mego-style figures.
Yay!
Stacy's a huge Mego
fan. And I got to bust open all my. I still haven't busted open my Creature from the Black Lagoon, but everybody loves that figure. So I think we're definitely doing those 2. Minimates, I think, is a little bit more up in the air whether we're going to do another assortment of Universal Monsters Minimates. But we're definitely going to do the other 2 series, and I think we're doing more banks as well. The first 2, the Creature and the Frankenstein bank, did very well. So we're gonna. I think we've got. I want to say we're doing the Bride. I'm pretty sure. And I can't remember who the second one is, but I'm pretty sure one of them is the Bride.
Nice. Can't wait.
I don't know if that's been actually revealed anywhere. I think I've seen the concept art for it. But I'm sure that'll be at New York Toy Fair. We're also going to be doing more Munsters. We had to delay the official Series 2, the original Series 2, which was all their hot rod outfits with a buildable staircase. We had to delay that a year, and we put out some black and white versions this past year. So we're going to be actually putting those out in 2013 with the buildable staircase. And we had to revamp the line a little bit because the staircase was so big. So what we've actually done is we've added a fourth figure to the assortment. So that'll be exciting for people. I'm excited that we're doing the fourth figure that we're doing. I'm not going to. I don't reveal it here. I don't know if it's approved and everything, but it'll be very exciting when we show. I think a lot of people are going to go crazy for it.
Okay, now that you mentioned the staircase, I got to ask: does it open up?
Yes, it opens up, and
cool.
And I don't think it's a full spot inside, but it's like his eyes, and I want to say I think there's a geyser of flame that you can attach.
Oh, nice.
I haven't had a chance to play with it. I've only seen it in prototype form in the display case, but I believe that's how it works.
Oh,
because
awesome.
we did Spot's collar with the Eddie and Marilyn 2-pack.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's some sort of spot that comes out when the staircase opens up. But it's a big staircase. I was wondering how they're going to fit it into 3 packages, and now I know that it's going to be 4.
Cool.
So I'm very excited to see that finally come out. I don't know if we're going to be doing more Minimates. I know a lot of people would like us to, but 7-inch figures definitely.
Nice.
Gosh, what else is coming up? Well, we're working on stuff for Wolverine, the Wolverine movie, and we're in early development on the Thor, the Dark World movie.
Yeah, you've already seen design. Yeah, I'm not going to ask any major questions, but you've seen the designs for the Wolverine film.
I've seen the concept for I think what we want to do for the Wolverine.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we're still going forward with that figure. I don't know if we have complete reference for it.
All right.
But I think we are still planning on going forward with a select style Wolverine for that movie, as well as Minimates. But we do need to get the right reference so that we can make everything look as good as it needs to. And I have not seen any. I don't think I've seen any concept art for Dark World. I'm not even sure if I know what the second figure we're doing from that is, but obviously we'll be doing an updated Thor.
Right.
And like I said, I haven't seen anything for Iron Man. I don't think I've seen any concept art for that, but I'm sure it's going to look pretty good. I'm a big Wolverine fan, so I'm excited that I'm hoping that we're going to be able to pull off the Wolverine stuff. We haven't solicited anything yet, but it would be a cool figure and a cool assortment if we get to do them.
Cool.
Very cool. All right, well, that will about do it for us. Zach, thank you so much for joining us, and I have to say just a big thank you for keeping the toy photography thing going, because I know when I read Toy Fair, that was kind of what prompted me to start taking pictures of my collection out in public. And as a matter of fact, we took some toys to the playground today and took some pictures. So yay for that. All right, so anyway, big thanks. And for Brian, JC, Dave, and Mike, I'm Stacey Rader. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.